Emily Carter had always been the kind of woman who attracted attention without trying. At 24, she lived in a modern apartment in downtown Miami, Florida, where palm trees lined the streets and the ocean breeze carried the promise of endless summer. She had long chestnut brown hair that flowed over her shoulders, warm hazel eyes, and a radiant smile that could brighten even the darkest room. Her naturally curvy hourglass figure, graceful posture, and confident style often made strangers glance twice. Friends complimented her beauty, and social media followers flooded her photos with admiration every day. But behind every perfect picture was a secret that no filter could hide. Emily had spent years believing that beauty was the key to happiness. Every morning began with stepping onto a digital scale before she even brushed her teeth. Every meal was carefully planned. Every workout was recorded. Every compliment felt good, but only for a moment. Then she would find another model online, another influencer with millions of followers, and convince herself she still wasn't enough. Ryan Brooks, her boyfriend of 3 years, couldn't understand why she kept doubting herself. To him, Emily was already everything he had ever hoped to find. He admired her kindness far more than her appearance. Whether she wore a glamorous dress for dinner or oversized pajamas while watching movies on the couch, she was the same woman he loved. "You know," Ryan said one evening while they watched the sunset over Biscayne Bay, "I wish you could see yourself the way I see you." Emily smiled politely but looked away. "If I looked just a little better," she whispered, "everything in my life would finally be perfect." Ryan gently squeezed her hand. "You've been chasing perfection for so long that you've forgotten how incredible you already are." His words were sincere, but they couldn't compete with the endless stream of flawless faces and carefully edited photos that filled Emily's phone every day. Deep inside, she believed there was still one more goal to reach, one more change to make, one more version of herself that would finally make her feel complete. Neither of them realized that this quiet obsession would soon test their love in ways they never imagined, leading them down a path where beauty, ambition, and heartbreak would become impossible to separate. The next morning, Emily woke before sunrise, laced up her running shoes, and headed toward South Beach while the city was still quiet. The first rays of sunlight reflected off the Atlantic Ocean, creating the kind of view most people would stop to admire. Emily barely noticed it. Her smartwatch displayed calories burned, heart rate, and distance. Every step felt like another small investment in becoming the woman she believed she needed to be. Her social media feed had become both her motivation and her prison. Fitness influencers, fashion models, and celebrities filled her screen with polished photos and perfectly edited videos. Thousands of comments praised their appearances, calling them flawless and inspirational. Emily couldn't stop comparing herself to every image she saw, even though deep down she knew many of those pictures were filtered and professionally produced. When she returned home, Ryan was already making breakfast. "I made your favorite blueberry pancakes," he said with a smile. Emily looked at the plate, then opened the calorie tracking app on her phone. "I can't," she replied quietly. "There are too many calories." Ryan sighed. "One breakfast isn't going to ruin your goals." "It's not about one breakfast," she answered. "It's about discipline." Ryan watched as she replaced the pancakes with plain Greek yogurt, berries, and black coffee. He admired her dedication, but lately it seemed as though every meal had become a calculation instead of something to enjoy. Weeks turned into months. Emily joined a luxury fitness studio in Miami, hired a personal trainer, and spent hours researching nutrition plans. Her wardrobe changed, her makeup became more polished, and every photo she uploaded received thousands of likes. Friends commented that she looked happier than ever, but Ryan noticed something different. She laughed less. She rarely suggested movie nights anymore. Weekend road trips disappeared. Date nights were replaced by gym sessions and strict meal prep. Even when they sat together, Emily's attention stayed fixed on her phone, scrolling through videos of women she believed looked better than she did. One evening, Ryan surprised her with tickets to a weekend getaway in Key West. "I thought we could unplug for a couple of days," he said. "No schedules, no workouts, just us." Emily stared at the tickets without smiling. "I can't miss 2 training days," she said. I've worked too hard to fall behind. Ryan lowered his eyes, disappointment written across his face. It feels like you're chasing someone who doesn't even exist anymore. Emily wanted to reassure him, but the words wouldn't come. In her heart, she believed that once she finally achieved the perfect version of herself, everything else, including their relationship, would naturally fall into place. She had no idea that the closer she came to her dream, the further she was drifting from the man who had loved her long before she ever questioned her worth. By early summer, Emily's transformation was impossible to ignore. She had become the woman she had spent years imagining. Her toned physique, elegant style, and confident appearance attracted attention everywhere she went. At restaurants, strangers complimented her. At the gym, people asked for fitness advice. Brands even began offering free products in exchange for social media posts. From the outside, it looked like she was finally living the dream. But Ryan saw something no one else could. Every compliment seemed to disappear from Emily's mind within minutes. Instead of feeling satisfied, she immediately searched for another goal. If someone praised her outfit, she worried about her hairstyle. If her latest photo went viral, she focused on the handful of negative comments instead of the thousands of positive ones. One Friday evening, Ryan reserved a table at one of their favorite rooftop restaurants overlooking Biscayne Bay. It was the same place where they had celebrated their first anniversary. Soft music played as the Miami skyline glowed in the distance. Emily arrived 20 minutes late. "I'm sorry," she said while sitting down. "I had to retake some photos. The lighting wasn't right." Ryan forced a smile. "It's okay." Throughout dinner, Emily barely touched her food. Every few minutes, she checked her phone, replying to comments and watching the likes on her newest post climb higher and higher. Ryan finally placed his fork on the table. "Emily, can I ask you something?" She looked up. "Do you still enjoy spending time with me?" The question caught her off guard. "Of course I do." "Then why does it feel like I'm competing with your phone every single day?" Emily sighed. "You don't understand. This is important." "No," Ryan replied gently. "I think I do understand. I just don't think it's making you happy anymore." For a moment, neither of them spoke. The city lights reflected across the water as boats drifted through the marina below. Ryan reached across the table and took her hand. "I fell in love with the woman who laughed at silly jokes, danced barefoot in the kitchen, and never cared what strangers thought. Lately, it feels like she's disappearing." Emily slowly pulled her hand away. "I've worked too hard to stop now," she whispered. "People finally notice me. Opportunities are coming. I can't go backward." Ryan nodded sadly. "I never asked you to go backward. I just don't want to lose you while you're chasing a version of yourself that may never feel satisfied." His words stayed with Emily long after dinner ended, but instead of listening to them, she convinced herself that Ryan simply didn't understand her ambition. As she drove home through the glowing streets of Miami, she looked at her reflection in the rearview mirror. For just a second, she saw the confident woman everyone admired. Then, almost instinctively, she noticed another flaw.